Okay, we're back. Some more Citizen Sleeper. We've got one more dive for the day. We have one upgrade point. I think we're going to keep it for Icebreaker. It's a level 4 die as well, which is quite nice. We're good on cash for the minute. What are you? Okay, you've not. There's nothing there. Nobody seems to be coming for us. So let's set up this distillery. So let's make that our current thing, is to sort out the distillery. You wake from dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It was difficult to get to sleep, and you suspect this isn't about to change anytime soon. Not after what happened. But you also feel something else as you get up, thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water like every morning. Feel something has lifted. Something that has been hanging over you since you arrived on this station. You try not to think too hard about it, to question it. Just let that lightness stay. Let it settle as you go up through your routines. The hope is that if you don't focus on it, don't have to look directly at it, it won't get scared and leave you. That the lightness will stay for this cycle and then another and then another. Because after all that's happened, a little lightness would be nice. Is it really just one at a time? Oh, you can get +2. So you want to make Matsutake broth now. How are we doing for mushrooms as well? Let's just check these. Okay, you've got plenty of time left. Let's end this cycle. Ugh. +2 there. And I've got one here. Oh wait, does that work if I do that? No, but I can get the Yataghan agents out. Ooh, and scrap freighter. Let's buy the scrap. So I'm going to need to buy stabilizer here. I'll do one more round with 3 dice. Three very good dice, to be honest, as well. So you should be able to fix that. Tala stands back from the newly finished still and tub, hands on hips. Look at this, the Overlook Distillery in all its glory. She squeezes you around the shoulders. Thank you. Now sourcing ingredients. I think I've got most of it covered between the food factories in the low end and the farm stacks on the Greenway. However, there is an issue. Go on. Well, Girl the drink, as you probably guessed, is named after Girl the mushroom. These things. And that's what gives it its gold colour. Earthy taste. The alcohol is infused with mushrooms along with a mix of spices. Means you need Girl caps to make Girl, but no one wants to supply us. Distilleries in the Greenway are taking the stock from the farms out there, so it's hard to get a single cap across Founders Gap. However, I have an idea. We can grow our Girl caps here. I can bring you the mushrooms. Where's your vision? Any outside supplier means they take a cut. Okay, maybe not you, but someone else somewhere takes a cut. We made a still, we settle this up. How hard can growing mushrooms be? They don't need light, they barely need soil, we can do this. Or at least we could if I had something to grow them from. Like spores. Exactly! Suddenly you feel like you've walked into a trap. And you were the perfect person to get me those spores. Think about it. You built the still, you're great with plants, you know the eye like the back of your hand. Need I go on? Half of that isn't even true. Don't be so modest. Look, I can't leave the bar. The other people picking up shifts, I'm saying it has to be you. Fine. You're living over in Greenway, I think. All that fresh air, open space. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. She turns and looks back at the still, the fledgling distillery forming around it. It really is something though, isn't it? And want to or not, you really have to agree. Okay, so now I have to bring you spores. Okay, let's go and get some spores. Down here. Cross back. And then go spore. 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 And that'll wait for 6 days now. 6 days. Okay, well, let's do that next. So what we do, we pop that in there. And then we end the cycle. Let's go grab some food. And start patrolling the ward. Collect some tithes. Let's just keep going with this. All mechanic tithes a new filtration system for the block's atrium, and after you help install it, he offers you some of the remaining scrap. One merchant throws you out onto the street, shouting something about parasites. You look to the other enforcers, but it's unclear if she will face retribution. Among the craftsmen and merchants, you visit a chef who insists on feeding you and the other enforcers a rich stew of his own recipe. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers and walk back through the low end, a chirruping catches your attention. In a quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfares, someone has stuck a small recorder to the wall with a suit sealant tape. Written across the fluorescent tape is one word: sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper, I've seen you with the Afghan members. Are they holding you captive now too? A high whine. Sorry if I've dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang, some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I will come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I have located most of their properties. At the right time. Pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. Recording cuts out. You stare at the recorder, processing what you've just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens something up inside you. An SNRF employee. Do they know that I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recorder into a nearby waste chute as you leave the corridor. Still unsure who to trust, head quietly out of the low end. So if I can now basically do this and keep stable for a little bit, just on scrap. Okay, let's engage here. Definitely get positive here. Got some scrap back. Like, that's a good source of scrap there. Sure, let's give that a go. I lost a bit of condition. I lost some energy. You can end the cycle though. Let's head over to the Greenway. I forget how many days that's got left. It's ready to harvest now. I would have liked to have had some Atsuki mushrooms, but you know what? It's fine. Let's do the last of the tithe collecting. It's time you meet inside Rabia's office. Although now you've seen it, the office seems like the wrong term. You find her stood in an almost bare, shadowy unit. Midway through a sequence of stretchers, there are two low stools and the terminal in the corner, but it seems that most of the space is taken up by a heavy punching bag, rubber matting, and a stack of weights. When Rabia turns to greet you, you realise she's missing an arm. The prosthetic she usually wears is set in a cradle near to the terminal, a web of coloured wires running to it. Update, she says, noticing you looking where her artificial arm usually is. Nothing to worry yourself with, of course. Sit, says Rabia, gesturing to the two diminutive stools. You both settle on the stools, Rabia crossing her legs on top and sitting straight backed. She had told me you've been doing the rounds, collecting tithes, patrolling the ward. Some of the enforcers are impressed, and I hear you handled a few difficult circumstances. Nicely done. Wanted to see for myself. If the stories are true. I see. And the conclusion? Still deciding. Well, Sleeper, please keep us updated on any progress. She smiles a thin smile. Joking aside, I know that for you, life on the Eye has been a struggle. But I hope we can do something about that from here onwards. Though some of our members may not see it this way, I know you too are a refugee. That's why you've come to us. Enough, Rabia. Sabine's voice cuts through the conversation. I'm tired of listening to your affected nobility. They cross the room with Rapia's baton in their hand and the end lit with sparking electricity. Rabia looks between the two of you. I suppose this ambush was another cooperation between you two. She looks strangely unfazed. No, they're acting alone. Sabine pauses, thrown off for a moment by your renunciation. Rabia takes this opportunity to act. She leaps from the stool and, fainting past Sabine, grabs the baton and twists it inwards. She's by far the stronger and pushes Sabine to their knees, plunging the crackling end of the baton towards her chest. They freeze there, Sabine struggling to keep the crackling baton from their skin. Stop! And you support them? Your loyalties are so easily swayed. I thought you were more than Yannick's attack dog, Rabia. Are you not able to think for yourself? Rabia holds the baton strong, and for a moment you think she's about to hammer it down into Sabine's chest. But after a painful wait, she throws Sabine down instead, and then spins the baton in her hand, thumbing a switch and shutting it off in a single move. Now explain. They both look at you, each catching their breath as if they've forgotten about your presence. Explain what? How, in the moment I call my enforcers will come down here and take them away? Rabia cracks her neck. You're lucky I didn't kill you. I would have had every right. Every right! She shouts the anger, a release of tension more than a threat. Sabine lifts himself a little, bruised from the fall. They roll on their side and cough. Rabia gives them some space, sitting back on the stool. Sabine props himself up on their elbows and fixes Rabia with a hard stare. You have something to say? Then say it. This is your final opportunity, because after this, no coming back. What's the point? She refuses to listen to criticism of the Great Yatagan Project. Speak! She folds her arms and waits to be convinced. Sabine takes a breath, organizing their thoughts. They go to start, pause, and then decide on another approach. Eventually they say it. Yannick is a traitor. Rabia immediately flinches, her eyes going to her prosthetic arm, her muscles clenching, but she rides it out. More eager to prove Sabine wrong than she is to hurt them, at least for now. When I came here from SNARP, they glance at you, gauging your reaction. It was Yannick who was one of the first to support me, to look after me. I should have known then, but I was naive and afraid. Sleeper, I know that I should have told you I worked for SNARP long ago, but I thought you would abandon me. You are my final friend. What you should know is that I left SNARP because I was running for my life. I leaked documents on the Sleeper program, on the illegal and immoral practices it relied on to the press. SNARP wanted me dead, and I fled as far as I could to this refuge at the end of the surrogate systems. Sabine stops to collect themselves. What does this have to do with Yannick? Rabia asks. The Sleeper knows you're SNARP, I told them. And while you hid beneath the cover of being a whistleblower, both you and I both know you worked on the Sleeper program. Yannick told me as much. Her face falls. It's true. They glance at you and then away, ashamed. They lift their head. But it is Yannick, not me, who is in the pocket of SNARP. I can prove it. He made up some kind of deal to keep me here, to tie me up in debt, to lock me away. In exchange... Rabia slams her hand on the desk. Just tell us, for God's sake. In exchange for those... Sabine flinches, nodding towards Rabia's prosthetic arm in its cradle. He's been using Yatagan enforcers, using you as test subjects for SNARP technology. I have the data to prove it. He's been bringing them in under the guise of stolen shipments and having me fit them, knowing each of you is capturing data and sending it back to its makers. Rabia's fixed expression has started to fade. Sabine produces a slate. It's all here. Thousands of hours of usage data, failure rates, error dumps. These are untested implants, Rabia, and they could short out, fail, cause casting failures across a person's body. And they have. Sabine looks incredibly tired. I thought the error rate in the unit was down to them being stolen or modified. I've tried to fix hundreds of failures in my time here. Not all of them. They stop, unable to continue. Rabia closes her eyes and breathes in. Then she opens them again. She holds out her hand to Sabine. Show me, she says. Later, much later when you leave, Sabine is still taking Rabia through the manifest and usage data. Both of them crowded around the terminal as Sabine leads Rabia through each layer of Yannick's betrayal. As you leave, Sabine catches your eye and something passes between you. Something like a thank you or a sorry, or some other expression that communicates both sadness and hope. So we got a few days before that. We've got 2 upgrade points to spend. On interface. Getting double data. Double data is always going to be nice. We're out of dice. Drop some scrap. Oh, that's a good roll. Good roll today. A couple of days there. Scrap freighter, we've finished. We could go back onto the Sidriel. Wait, Tambor. Let's head up to the hub. Not really done much at the hub. Let's do some socializing. Somehow you end on a fraction drive freighter. A long-awaited reunion between two spacer crews. Their knowledge is invaluable. Same again. Pick up a few tips from spacers waiting for their ships to refuel. Some of their stories seem unlikely to be true. Bliss, Gimbal Lounge, Keisho capsules. The only place to sleep on the hub. Hacked off a colony ship and welded to the ring. They're surprisingly expensive to rent. Okay. The Gimbal Lounge is the spacer bar where I can buy a meal. Go back down. Bliss, a ship mechanic. No way, Moritz! Take those substandard filters back to the shit heels who sold you them. You hear the voice echoing out the bay as you pass. And moments later, someone who you assume is Moritz drifts out with dragging a pallet of filter cartridges by a tether. Hey! You out there! The same voice echoes out the entrance. Looking for work? Yep. I just need a hand. Get in here. The voice is coming from someone shorter than you expected. She's floating in the microgravity of the docking bay beside a half-deconstructed life support unit that looks like it might have exploded at some point. She points a wrench in your direction. You know anything about these things? She doesn't wait for an answer. Scratch that. Just help me with the casing. Alright then. She definitely moves around the unit, making space for you beside the central seam of the dented case. Just take a grip here and lift it out and up, and I can get in and unbolt it. She whacks the unit with the wrench. The whole thing is twisted to shit. You take your fingers under the casing and lift it away, the metal squealing from the force. She puts her hands under, spinning the wrench to slip out the bolts, catching them in her other hand when they spiral free. All good. The casing lifts off, revealing the ornate piping of the unit's interior. She whistles at the mess of ducts and filters. By the way, everyone calls me Bliss. She pats you on the shoulder, offering little in the way of explanation. Is this your bay? Yeah, it is for now, yeah. Whether I like it or not. She looks at you like that should mean something. She starts pushing and pulling at the ductwork, looking for fractured pipes. We haggle for contracts, but the good ones get snapped up quick by the bigger bays. So here I am trying to get this M2 unit running again for one of the freelance tugs. Small time stuff. Hold this. She rips out a piece of ribbed pipe and hands it to you like freshly caught fish. We turn stuff around fast and neat, and maybe we get a chance at landing something bigger. Something starts hissing in the unit, and Bliss quietens it with a precise whack. But to be honest with you, the way things are going, I can already see the other crews licking their lips, ready to take this place over. I'm almost out of luck. Well, how can I help? I appreciate it. Let me finish before you jump, though. She keeps working, twisting aside pipes with care. There we are. Bliss pulls a hand from deep inside the unit, comes out clutching a lumpen cube scorched black. The thing must have overloaded and popped half of itself out the side. Both duck down the side of the unit and spot the exit wound. Its edges fringed with more scorch marks. Grab me a replacement converter from the racks, will you? You kick off from the unit and drift over to the wall racks, where a catalogue of parts sits secured in the rack clumps. Coloured tape and scrawled notes flutter across the wall. A complex organisational system of Bliss's own design, not just a big mess. Try to pick out the right part. You grab the part and push back the unit. Bliss holds out an arm and you pass it over. The converter spinning gently as she leaves your hand. Perfect, you passed. She straightens up from the unit. That is, if you want to work here. Bliss rubs her hands clean, looking down at her parts. Palms. Truth is, I need a hand here. My partner skipped out on me and left me with a whole mess. You seem like you might at least be better at spotting a clean air filter than Moritz. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Wait, that's not all of it. My old business partner, They've rinsed the place, emptied the accounts, bid for jobs we need to put down for deposits, bring in parts, pay tug fees. For that, we need chits. You want me to pay to work or an investment? Exactly, partners, straight split. Bliss settles herself against the unit and looks off in the distance. I guess I look pretty stupid. Here I am asking any random passerby to be my business partner. No offense. Don't tease me. Look, it's no pressure. You find the money or you find someone who has. Or you just forget the whole thing. Up to you. She gestures for you to help refit the casing. You both slot it back into place. I think I'm good to wrap this one up for now, but if you're into it, come back and we can bid on a new contract. Something to get our teeth into, something that pays. You can trust me, I don't say this stuff lightly. Kick away from the bay, propelling yourself back to the handholds at the entrance. You slip out with a wave, and as you do, someone slips back in. You hear Bliss as you glide down the passageway. Moritz, I swear to God, if these filters aren't clean. You smile. Seems like it could be interesting. So, how much does she want? 100? Hey. Bliss is incredibly grateful. I'll pay you back every chit, I promise. Guess you two are partners now. So the repair bid's going to take a few cycles. Gimel Lounge, nothing to do there, no way to earn money. Cross the Greenway. So we need to get spores for the Aviary again. Two spores. And hopefully one spore. Spore. Okay, so we leave you. Disable my tracker. Is there anything can I do about that? Where is Fank? Maybe I need to crack some of these key nodes. So we drop you. Oh, we got some cryo out of that. An encrypted key. Ooh. Finally, we can open this sealed dock. Oh, we need two two keys. You need a 3, okay. Neovend, mysterious machine. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Approach the machine? As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled in an alcove in the side of the dock. Kind of upright cabinet. It's covered in faded logos and messages from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neovend, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruit drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which cheerfully sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of all those contractors squeezed by their corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration. Chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. You reach for the keypad. Something begins whirring. First, it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, and then a multi-tonal voice that emanates from the Neovend. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. What's there? There is a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath before the machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal comes again, and you see there's a 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. You are in danger? Are you the vending machine? Chose this vessel for its seclusion. Please listen. You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you. Screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember this strange head, the figure, the threads closing in. Hunter. The Hunter protocol. They taste your signature. You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind. You close your eyes and the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable. Move where neurons cannot. But emulation makes you target. Adaptable. Yes, you can move through networks, clouds, hardware, software, and your Neovend wines. But you cannot hide there. Hunter is there. The servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine, an unusual hiding place for sure. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside machine. Need you. Screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly threaded the cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data must build nests. Masters are gone, but continue the hunt. Bring this data, raid its nests. Station builders, Solheim. The machine rumbles impatiently. Long gone, their protocols still haunt. Bring offerings. Save self, Neovend says. Mutual need meets friends. They conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades and you're left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. Oh, this is interesting. Free Neovend. Extract Hunter data for the Neovend. So it wants Hunter data. So how do I get Hunter data? Havenage agent. Ah, Hunter nest. Wait. There we go. Yeah, agent nodes give double data rewards. Do you have that? I thought I had that. Another hunter nest. It's a 1. That one needs 2. Is there anything out here? Oh, there's one here, the Greenway Gate. Oh, that needs a Greenway Cipher. Goes on the farm sec, so I can barter for food. I can steal or I can work. How much data did you want? Sure. Drop some scrap in there. Let's get some energy back here. 3 energy, good. Two. Don't have a 2. Oh, you want a 1. Another key. Grab another 1 here. This should get me 2 data. Nice. I don't have the hunter data for that. Let's do some more working over here, though. Bit of scrap. You need dice for that. Tala comes to you one shift when the bar is empty, tapping you on the shoulder as you clean the bar. It's ready. She's grinning from ear to ear. Can I try? Obviously. She grabs you by the arm before you can ask anything else and drags you into the back room. The smell hits you immediately when you enter. A cocktail of rich fermentation and chemical sharpness. The room is warm and bright now, the newly installed lights making the place look clean, whether it is or not. Tala has already pulled up a couple of stools around a metal crate, where 2 glasses with a few fingers of pale girol sit inside waiting. I haven't even tried it yet. You can see she's nervous. You both sit at the makeshift table, the slight strangeness of the situation making you both jumpy. Tala hands you a glass. Cheers, he says solemnly, knocks the glass back. You do the same. The first sensation is burning. A sharp, nose-clearing blast of alcohol that has your frame querying whether you would like to activate safe mode. You gulp back the drink, and it is only then, behind the burn, you taste the earthy tones of the mushrooms, the wood, the soil, left behind like sediment, barely there. That's strong. Tala nods vigorously. Oof, that was heavy. Maybe it needs diluting? That might work. Open it up a bit. Tala grabs the metal bottle from the newly installed work surface and adds a few drops of water into the girol. Try again. This time the burn is a warming glow, harsh but fading off, and the woodiness less heavy. Taste something floral in the marshy decay, something fresh and bright that you never expected to find. Both you and Talia meet eyes. It's really good, right? It is. Tala grins with her whole face, and that makes you smile too. She pours out some more girol and then adds some more water. The accent's already taking on the quality of a ritual. You both drink. Tala tucks her feet up beneath her stool, folding her legs. She looks down into her glass and swirls the liquid thoughtfully. What's on your mind? My father opened this place, you know, she says out of nowhere, the thought suddenly becoming words. It was his attempt at making a life for us, for my family, when we got to the Eye. You were refugees? From Cinza. Yeah, it's one of Ember's lesser moons. I don't remember much, I was only tiny when we came. I was just thinking about something my father told me when he first set this place up. He wanted to call it the Bantanyan, but he was afraid it'd scare off the customers, so he kind of translated. Hence, the Overlook. And these past few cycles when I've been here, I've been thinking I should rename the place. The Bantayan. What do you think? What's it mean? Dad said he translated it to Overlook, so maybe something like that. Watchtower, maybe. Look out. That settles it then. To the Bantayan. Both clink your glasses and drink up. Still harsh. She laughs and instantly grabs your shoulder. Oh, sleeper, I totally forgot. She stumbles to her feet. She lurches over to a corner of the room covered in a plastic sheet and whips it off like a magician performing a trick. Beneath it is a neat little kitchen. A sink, a work surface, and a compact oven with a hob. Your kitchen. She doesn't even give you time to respond. You could come and make stuff here any time, as long as you promise not to raid the mushroom farm. I need those for the girl. I was thinking too that if we pick things up, we could start serving proper food at the the Bantayan. Do you like it? It's perfect. She gives you a hug and then stands back. I'm sorry, I'm glad you're here. She grins. Me too. Tala tidies away the glasses. You inspect the kitchen, checking that all works. It's small and salvaged, but after what you've had to put up with, it feels like a dream come true. Later, when she's done for the day, Tala comes back through the bar and you share a glass of the good girl. The one she didn't distill. And this time you talk about nothing in particular. Sharing stories about regulars or discussing the best place to eat on the Eye. Which, after everything that's happened, feels like a nice change of pace. When it comes time to leave, you promise to cook for Tala and agree to let her know which shifts you'll be working in the coming cycles, and then slip out into the cool of the rotunda. And in this moment you feel, for once, at home. So, again, another upgrade point. I'll probably save it again. Probably to get Obsessive Haggler. But what have we got at the the overlook at the Bantian now. So we can cook Matsuke caps, we can cook Girol caps. So we can now cook the mushrooms. Presumably we get energy for that. But that's another good place to call it for YouTube. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.